Good evening. I now call to order the regular town board meeting for the town of Arundecoit, November 20th, 2018. We have some very special guests with us today who are going to help us get our meeting started. Before we started, I had the pleasure of spending some time with the scouts from Troop 60003. And we had a nice talk about government, and they agreed to stay and help us start the meeting off by leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'll ask everyone to rise. I'll ask my scouts to come up here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's give a round of applause for the troops. I'll note they do not have school tomorrow, so there's no reason why they should leave the meeting early. I'll take note, but have a very nice Thanksgiving, everyone, okay, and come back anytime, okay? Madam Clerk.
Roll call. Councilwoman Hushler-Ray. Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilwoman Romeo.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Supervisor Seeley.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping points. We have two public hearings regarding our capital improvement program. Those will start at 7:35. If you are here to speak on those public hearings, you may sign up at the sign-in sheet at the door. You certainly are welcome to speak if you do not sign up. We will have public input earlier in the meeting. After my remarks, we're going to be joined by our members of our police department and some very special ceremonies. Before we get to that, just a few remarks, permit me. Arundecoit Beards for Bucks campaign to raise money for 1330 Cancer Connects is very well on its way. I see several of our police officers and members of my staff who have neglected to use their razor to shave for the past several weeks, all in a good cause to raise money for 1330 Connects, which provides support services for adolescents and young adults living with cancer as well as their family. It's a terrific organization. To date, our town organization has raised over $4,000 for the organization. That will run through December 3rd. We will have a shaving event over at the Public Safety Building. The link hopefully is up on the screen, but if not, you can donate by going to www.tinyurl.com/noshave-Arundecoit. And thank you for all those participating and all those who have donated thus far. On November 4th, I joined members of Arundecoit's Ukrainian community, now Congressman Morelli, State Senator Robach, to pay tribute to the late Congresswoman Louise Slaughter, as well as the late United States Senator John McCain. It was a very nice day. It was a nice call for civility. It took place over in the Ukrainian monument, and I think reminded us that in the middle of an election, we are all Americans, and the need to be civil is the most important and paramount above all others. So thank you to the Ukrainian community for organizing that. On what's become a great annual gathering in Arundecoit, this past Sunday afternoon, I and over 100 residents attended and listened to some beautiful music at the community Thanksgiving event. Just want to thank Resurrection Lutheran Church over at the intersection of St. Paul and Cooper for hosting, and all the great ensembles for sharing their talents. It's turning into a terrific event, and mark your calendar next year and pay attention because it's worth attending. Last month, just before Halloween, the Hampton Inn hosted its annual Haunted Hampton. This is a wonderful free event in town that allows well over several hundred children to trick-or-treat in the halls of the Hampton Inn. I joined over a dozen businesses in providing candy and wearing a poor Halloween costume, but it's a fun event, and thank you to the Hampton Inn for organizing. I was proud of Arundecoit as it was well represented at the last month's inaugural Environmental Innovation Awards and Symposium. This is basically our region's Academy Awards for environmental sustainability. Kudos to I-Square for receiving the Small Business Award, and kudos to our own Councilwoman Kimmy Romeo for receiving the Individual Award. This was the first year this happened, so they were the first recipients. Truly an honor and a reflection of Kimmy's outstanding work outside of her duties as Councilwoman in promoting environmental sustainability. I just want to remind folks, Town Hall is closed, obviously, on Thanksgiving and also the day after, Friday, November 23rd, in observation of the holiday. Some fun. Kids, pay attention. On December 1st, a Sunday, the Recreation Bureau and the library are teaming up once again to bring you the annual Christmas tree and menorah lighting ceremony. Activities will include a self-guided holiday craft for kiddos, a raffle, holiday music from the Irondequoit Chorale and the Irondequoit Concert Band, and then we'll move over to the gazebo to join Santa as he helps us light the tree and menorah. This takes place at the library and then moves over to the public safety building. There will be cookies and punch. That starts at 4 p.m., which is pretty much when it gets dark now about, and ends around 5:30. And I'll just note, we do a staff spotlight every month at our workshop where we recognize a member of our staff for their contributions and hard work. Last week we recognized Ann Doler, who works in our Department of Public Works. Ann's a longtime town employee. She really is part of the bedrock of our town organization. She does so much work. I pity her because she works in probably closer proximity to me than anyone else at Town Hall. So that's a challenge, but we were happy to recognize Ann and certainly are grateful for her hard work. And with that, I'm going to ask the board members to join me at the podium and ask Chief Tantillo to take over the ceremony.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. This is an exciting time for us as we swear in ceremonially two of our newest additions, if you will, to the police department. If I could have Sergeant Jason Hughes come forward, please. And any guests that you have with you? I know you do. It's all right. We have plenty of room. Look at all the Girl Scouts we have. All right. Officer Jason Hughes was recently promoted to the rank of sergeant. Officer Hughes has been a police officer with the Irondequoit Police Department since 2007. He has served in many roles within our agency and is a firearms instructor and also one of our field training officers, which is a critical position as we train new police officers within our agency. Sergeant Hughes, prior to that, was a Monroe County Sheriff's Corrections Officer. And then prior to that, he really started his work in the town of Irondequoit with the Department of Public Works. So an excellent progression. And I see you have many friends from the DPW here. He has displayed exceptional leadership skills, problem-solving skills, communication skills. In addition to the exceptional leadership he brings to this position, he also has served as an investigative resource for our agency and has worked on a number of high-profile cases with the Irondequoit Police Department. He is a highly decorated police officer within our agency, and we're certainly proud to share this special moment with him and his family. So if I may, Mr. Supervisor,
Ask everyone to take 2 steps back. Officer Hughes, who's going to be holding the Bible?
my sister.
Your sister. Hello? Did you hold that out? Okay, Officer Hughes, left hand Bible, right hand up. Repeat after me. I, Jason Hughes,
I, Jason Hughes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend the Constitution
that I will defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the State of New York.
and of the State of New York.
I will enforce
I will enforce
all of the laws
all of the laws
of the State of New York
of the State of New York
and the town of Irondequoit.
and the town of Irondequoit.
I will fulfill the duties
I will fulfill the duties
of the rank of police sergeant
of the rank of police sergeant
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will serve, protect, and guide
I will serve, protect, and guide
the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
Sergeant Hughes, congratulations.
People get nervous when I got a microphone in my hand, so I'll keep this brief. As Chief said, I've been a hometown guy for quite some time. There's no other place I'd rather work. I want to thank the chief, the captain, the supervisor, and the town board for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank my family. They were there with me through thick and thin, and I love you guys to death. I want to special thank you to retired Lieutenant DiGiovanni, who's here. I had the privilege to have him as a supervisor until he retired throughout my whole career. I learned a lot from you. I consider you a true friend, and thank you. To all the guys along that back wall, active and retired. I said it before, I'll say it 100 times. This is the biggest team sport there is. We wouldn't get through an 8-hour shift without each other. I consider you guys an extended family. Phil, Sergeant from the Sheriff's Department, thank you for coming. I love all you guys. Thank you. Thanks, honey.
If I could have Officer Brandon Lantry come up. Brandon, do you have family here? They would like to come up.
I'm sorry. I'm almost done.
So Officer Brandon Lantry is one of our newest officers that we recently hired. He has just completed his FTO program and is currently working days until the beginning of the year where he'll go to his new shift. Officer Lantry came to us from the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, where he was a Wayne County Sheriff's Deputy for approximately 2 years. He graduated from Wayne Central High School and went to the Finger Lakes Community College in Canandaigua and obtained his associate's degree in criminal justice. He then went to the Finger Lakes Law Enforcement Academy and graduated in 2016. Brandon doesn't have as much experience as Sergeant Hughes, but he only has a couple years on, and I'm sure he'll get all that. But Brandon has been a great welcome to the police department. He's very proactive. Some of you may have met him maybe on a traffic stop, but he's a young go-getter that the town is really happy to have. Congratulations.
I don't have it memorized yet. All right, left hand on the Bible. Repeat after me, Officer Lantry. I, Brandon Lantry,
I, Brandon Lantry,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend the Constitution
that I will defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the State of New York.
and of the State of New York.
I will enforce all of the laws
I will enforce all of the laws
of the State of New York
of the State of New York
and the town of Irondequoit.
and the town of Irondequoit.
I will fulfill the duties
I will fulfill the duties
of the rank of police officer
of the rank of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will serve, protect, and guide
I will serve, protect, and guide
the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
Officer Lantry, congratulations.
First, I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank the chief and the captain for putting the time and resources into getting me over here. I really look forward to this opportunity. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity. I look forward to being a part of the community, and that's about it. Thanks.
Okay, we're gonna. Are we done? We are done. Okay, we're gonna pivot, move the podium for public input. Folks, if you're leaving, one thing we just ask, you certainly can talk outside, but just be mindful that the noise does carry in, and we always do public input after nice events like this. So we want to make sure that the board can hear public input. So just be mindful of the volume of your voice. And thank you all for attending. Scouts, take care. Okay, we'll now move on to public input. We have two residents signed, actually, I believe 3 residents signed up for public input. If you did not sign up, you're certainly welcome to address the board about any topic after those folks who had signed up in advance have the opportunity to do so. Generally, we like to keep public input between 3 and 5 minutes, mindful that we have a lengthy meeting ahead of us and there are other speakers and 2 public hearings as well. With that, William Beanie, 291 Rock Beach Road.
My name is Bill Beanie, Rock Beach Road. Why is it that the town of Irondequoit is the only town in Monroe County to experience a population loss in the 2010 census? A population loss that has continued. There must be a reason. It's because people don't want to live here. Why is that? What do we have in our midst in Irondequoit? We have the largest Roman Catholic parish in the local Catholic diocese. A Roman Catholic church noted for its inability to reform itself from criminal abuse. Is it possible that the spirit of abuse seeps out of the local Roman Catholic Church and seeps into town government? Abuse, not sexual, but social. Well, given Roman Catholic theology, probably. You see, people in the town of Irondequoit government are laboring under the misapprehension that we're all one big family. How curious. Of course we're not. The misapplication of the Roman Catholic sacrament of the family to governmental social relations is a pernicious, unwanted influence of the Roman Catholic Church. Town government is a democracy, not a forum for self-serving Roman Catholic posturing over a religious sacrament. Economic growth and revenue growth demand that the people of Irondequoit move out of their comfort zone and embrace a future with family freedom and not family sacramentals or a folksy substitute for independent families. Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Beanie. Next, we have signed up Kaylee Stearns and Lindsay Yu. I don't know if they were coming up together or if only one is here. Hello. Just for the record, would you, if you could, just say your name and address. Thank you.
I'm Kaylee Peluso. I'm at 85 Parkside Crescent. Just here to announce kind of what we consider to be exciting happenings here in Irondequoit. We are from Lattimore Physical Therapy, and we just opened 2 new offices in town. One on Culver Road, specializing in hands, and another right on the Hudson Titus. Just opened back up on Monday. We're really excited about it to bring therapy back to West Irondequoit. So just wanted to announce to the town that we're back, and we're here to help you guys out in whatever way is
Thank you.
necessary.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, awesome. So if you guys ever need anything, we're here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's good news. Would anyone else in the audience wish to address the board? Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to close public hearing.
Move.
Public input, excuse me. Councilman Perticone in a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public input is closed. We'll now move on to financial report. Madam Comptroller.
Thank you, Supervisor Seeley. The 2018 financial results as of October 31st. 83% of the year has elapsed, and the town's total expenses are lower than budget at 76.5%, a sum of $26,461,000. Encumbrances are $887,000, and actual expenses total $25,574,000. The actual expenses alone equate only to 73.9% of budget. Encumbrances typically remain sizable at this point in the year as departments are continuing to commit to commodities, supplies, and services that will be needed the remainder of the year. The general fund expenses are below budget at 75.9%, $15,749,000. The actual expenditures are 73.3% of budget, $15,204,000, and the other 2.6% is due to $545,000 of encumbrances. Overall, the expenses in the highway funds are $4,401,000, 78.9% of budget, below the 83% of the year that has elapsed. The costs in these funds result from considerable expenses and encumbrances for salt, gas, fuel, and equipment parts as anticipated and planned throughout the year or in the annual budget. The library expenditures are favorable at 80.6% of budget, a year-to-date total of $1,862,000. Expenses in the sewer fund of $3,043,000 are below budget at 74.4%. The stormwater drainage expenses are approximately 52% of budget, a total of $410,000. The general fund has received a revenue of $18,580,000, 91.6% of budget. Real estate tax of $10.8 million has been collected. 103% of the payment in lieu of tax revenue of $172,000 was received. The town has recorded 5 months of sales tax revenue in the amount of $1,693,000, 39% of that budget. 100% of per capita state aid of $613,000. 50% of franchise cable TV revenue, a total of $376,000, and the mortgage tax for the first quarter of the year, $133,000. Recreation program fees of $321,000 are favorable to budget at 98.7%. Included in other sources of revenue are 3 significant 2018 one-time revenue items. Medley Center settlement proceeds of $450,000, $218,000 of settlement costs associated with Comida and the Target and Holiday Inn properties, and $1.7 million of insurance recovery for extra expenses incurred by the town as a result of the DPW garage fire. Without those one-time revenues, the general fund would be at 79.9% of budget, slightly unfavorable at this point. You may note that the third quarter sales tax of approximately $1,380,000 was received this week and will be reflected in the November report. Regarding the entire town, 31.1 million or 91.3% of revenue and appropriated fund balance has been documented to date. Without the aforementioned $2,368,000 of one-time general fund revenue, the town's total would be at 84.3% of budget. At the end of the month, at the end of October, the library had confirmed revenue of $2,284,000, 98.9% of budget, 88.7%, $4,883,000 of revenue has been recorded by the highway, 100.8% of the sewer fund, or $4,101,000 has been verified. Stormwater drainage has received 100.1% of its budgeted revenue, $764,000. This concludes my financial report for the month of October.
Thanks. A motion to accept the, I'm sorry, any questions, for Comptroller Sealer, comments on the financial report?
No, just thank you.
Thanks as always, Annie. Motion to accept the financial report?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
All's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report is accepted. Moving on to approval of minutes. Madam Clerk?
October 9th, 2018, the workshop meeting.
Motion to approve?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
October 16, 2018, the regular town board meeting.
Motion?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
October 17, 2018, the budget workshop meeting.
Motion to accept.
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
October 18, 2018, the budget workshop meeting.
Motion to approve.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perticone. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved.
October 30th, 2018, the special town board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We can skip over public hearings. We have about another 10 minutes. Madam Clerk, please move to item for board action number 3 under community development.
Authorizing the adoption of the 2019 Arundequoit Zoning Board of Appeals meeting schedule.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Ivers, any explanation? This is our annual routine of scheduling all of our zoning board of approval meetings prior to the
Yeah,
commencement of
the
the year.
next two items for board action are our standard meeting date scheduling, and we do this in advance so that we can publicize the dates for next year.
Any changes to the day of the week or?
No, the same night of the week unless otherwise required because of federal holidays that we observe.
Thank you. And I'll note all these meetings are on ICAT, either on whatever station ICAT is on right now, or on Facebook Live. You can, or on Vimeo. You can watch all the meetings. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 4, authorizing the adoption of the 2019 Arundequoit Planning Board workshop and meeting schedule.
Motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 5, approving revised permit and fee schedules related to building permits, fire marshal permits, animal control and planning and zoning applications within the Department of Community Development.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Romeo. Ms. Ivers, explanation, please.
As we discussed at workshop last week, the last time planning and zoning and building permit fees had been updated or approved by the town board dates back to 2010. And so this seemed like a good time to revisit our fee schedule. By and large, the fire marshal permitting is very few changes from last year. This is something that gets reviewed and updated annually. However, planning and zoning and building permit hadn't been looked at in almost a decade. So this gave an opportunity to do some comparative analysis to some other communities in the county, and also look at ways to streamline and simplify our fee schedule. And so that's what you see before you. Not a lot of changes. In most cases, it's more simplifying and making it much more clear what fees are required for what types of projects.
Thank you, Carrie, and I know your staff put a lot of work into this as well. Any questions or comments?
No, I would just thank Carrie and the whole second floor for all their work they put into it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think the goal of this is to simplify and streamline and make it easier for both staff to process as well as residents to understand the fee schedule. All right, hearing no further questions, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 6, authorizing an updated Chapter 199 Highway Rights-of-Way Permit Fee Schedule.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Commissioner Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would adopt the new fee structure for the 199 permit, a permit necessary to conduct work within any town right-of-way. As Appendix A, as the town board can see, outlines a new fee at a fee of $270 per year per pole located within the right-of-way, and this would be for small cell transmitters, these small microcells that are going to be installed and have already been installed within some county right-of-ways. This would adopt a fee structure for those pieces of equipment being installed within town rights-of-way. And again, that would be a $270 fee paid annually per pole.
Thanks, Bob. And this is the fee that's was really laid out by the FCC in their recent ruling.
That is correct. This is consistent with the FCC guidelines for what municipalities can assess as a fee for these types of transmitters being placed within the right-of-way.
And we talk about staff time. I would argue with the FCC that the staff time allotted to these and the amount of paperwork, it's a low threshold, but we're compliant with our federal partners, so we're getting this in place, expecting other applications pending. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number
Madam Clerk, excuse me one sec. Board members have a draft local law to amend Chapter 214 of the Arundecoit Town Code as it relates to trees. Before them, do I have a motion to introduce the proposed local law?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the proposed local law is now introduced. Madam Clerk, please call up the resolution number 7.
Number 7, calling for a public hearing to amend Chapter 214 of the Code of the Town of Arundecoit relating to tree contractors and becoming a Tree City, USA.
Motion. Moved. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution calls for a public hearing to be held at next month's regularly scheduled town board meeting and proposes to rewrite Chapter 214 relating to tree contractors and establishes the town as a Tree City, USA. This would be a complete rewrite of Chapter 214 of the town code. A brief explanation, Arundecoit is known as a community that has mature trees that line our suburban streets. The local law would establish that the town is committed to this as a part of our community character. As such, this local law would establish the Town Conservation Board as the Tree Advisory Board, a board that in conjunction with myself and the Department of Public Works will review and recommend a town forestry program. The board would provide advice to the department and make recommendations to the department for tree plantings and removals within any town right-of-way. In addition, this local law also requires any commercial tree service vendor that conducts work within the jurisdictional limits of the town to be licensed by the Department of Public Works. As this community knows, the Department of Public Works provides a service to residents that collects woody debris curbside, and that service is provided to our residents at, of course, a service we provide in the department. This local law establishes that tree service vendors are prohibited from placing woody debris at the curbside, knowingly that the town will pick it up. It establishes that tree service contractors doing work in the town will be required to meet minimum insurance requirements. The licensing of tree service contractors will allow residents to view this list of licensed contractors in town in the event of an emergency or post-disaster, such as the March 2017 windstorm, when a multitude of residents were calling the town seeking what contractors to use, a list of contractors to use. This licensing of these tree service vendors would be posted online, able to be viewed by residents in case of an emergency or just a resident seeking to get quotes for work to be conducted on their private property. This regulation excludes individuals from conducting, it would not, this regulation would exempt residents performing work on their own property as they are doing currently. So if you're doing tree work on your own property or removing shrubs, that debris can come to the right-of-way. The Department of Public Works will pick that up. However, it would prohibit, again, commercial tree service vendors from placing that wood within the town right-of-way. So that's a brief overview of this local law.
Thanks. So there's two prongs to this, obviously. One is the tree contractor provision, which the Commissioner just outlined, and also the Tree City USA and the involvement of the Conservation Board. Obviously, the tree contractors, the licensing is a little bit more nuanced, and I think Commissioner Kylie did a good job as declaring the intent. Bob, do other towns do have this sort of licensure in place?
Yes, they do. Two towns locally do, the town of Greece, the town of Brighton, and also several towns down on Long Island have the same type of licensing regulation.
Okay. Any questions for the Commissioner?
No, good job.
Nope, thank you.
This would call a public hearing to take place on December 18th, 2018. We will certainly post the proposed law on our website and here at Town Hall, as we always do. No further questions. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. With that, we are going to resort back to our public hearings. Madam Clerk, please call up public hearing number 1 for the evening.
Public hearing number 1, on the matter of transferring surplus fire insurance recovery funds from the drainage fund balance to CIP account 314 DPW Operations Center.
Motion to open the public hearing.
So moved?
In a second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is now open. Commissioner Kylie, before we allow the public to comment, an explanation on the first matter before the board.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Described as at last month's town board meeting, this resolution was described, which would authorize the transfer of $138,435 from the Stormwater Drainage District to the Capital Improvement Project number 314, the construction of the new Highway Department. As we closed out the books on the 2016 Christmas Eve fire, the comptroller noted that the district had surplus fire insurance proceed funds, and throughout the disaster, we acknowledged that any surplus insurance proceed funds would be used for the construction of the new Highway Department, and as such, this transfer would occur from the district to CIP 314.
Thanks, Bob. Any questions for the Commissioner? Okay, with that, we did not have anyone signed up to speak for this public hearing. Anyone wishing to do so is welcome to come forward. Seeing none, I will now take a motion to close public hearing.
Moved?
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. Madam Clerk, please call up Resolution 1A.
Adopt a resolution authorizing the transfer of surplus fire insurance recovery funds from the drainage fund balance to CIP account 314, the DPW Operations Center.
Motion.
Moved?
And a second.
Second?
As Bob discussed, the intent of this is to use proceeds of the fire insurance claim that was made as a result of the loss of the DPW Operations Center to be utilized for what it should be utilized for, the construction of a new DPW facility, which is currently being erected. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Public hearing number 2 on the matter of transferring funds from the sanitary fund balance to CIP account 314, the DPW Operations Center.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Commissioner Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Similar to the prior public hearing and corresponding resolution, this public hearing has also been called in order to move sanitation fund balance to Capital Improvement Project 314 with the intent to construct the new highway facility. As this board knows, the Department of Public Works is composed of several different divisions, one of which is sanitation, also known as the sewer department. With approximately 35% of DPW personnel being funded from the sewer department, the town has proposed to allocate 35% of the construction costs for the personnel center to the sewer division. That personnel center is composed of our dispatch area, administrative offices for staff members, break room, locker room for our general employees, etc. The town has received a detailed cost breakdown of the construction of that administrative building from our construction manager, Krista Construction. That total for that part of the building is $2,928,274. Utilizing the cost breakdown for the admin building and the percentage of our dedicated sewer employees, we propose that $1,024,895.90 be moved from the sanitary sewer fund balance to Capital Improvement Project 314. It should be noted that the town has a very robust reserves and will allow this to absorb such an expenditure. And as Comptroller Seeley can articulate, the sewer division will remain within the town's established thresholds for fund balance reserves to percent of budget.
The town has an established fund balance policy that state that the fund balance of any of the operating funds should be between 5 and 20% of the respective fund's budget. That policy was last updated in 2011. It's a resolution 2011-139. The current projected fund balance for the sewer fund is approximately $1,670,000, which is 41% of budget. And as referenced in the fund balance on page S3 in the 2019 adopted budget, if that recommended transfer of $1,024,895.90 is approved, approximately $640,000 will remain in the fund balance, which is 15.9% of budget, and that is within the policy established by the town.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the Commissioner or the Comptroller? Okay, with that, I will ask anyone, we not have anyone signed up. If anyone in the audience wishes to come forward to address the board on this particular matter, I invite them to do so. Seeing none, take a motion to close public hearing.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. Madam Clerk, item 2A, please.
Authorizing the transfer of funds from the sanitary sewer fund balance to CIP account 314 DPW Operations Center.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wayner. As both the Commissioner and the Comptroller said, the intent of this is to use fund balance in our sanitary fund to pay for a appropriate amount of the administrative building of the new DPW facility, which is being erected. Using the fund balance, simply, I think it's determined it's better to use the available reserves than to enter into additional long-term debt. Certainly, the fund balance had accumulated a substantial amount, well over 50% of the actual fund, and thus I think it's a wise way to spend it down as opposed to it just sitting in reserves. This is why you build up reserves, frankly, for the unexpected. So I think this is a good use, and I'm glad that we're still well within our suggested threshold. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. I believe we are now back to item number 8, Madam Clerk.
Item number 8, authorizing the purchase of one Ford pickup truck to be used by the Department of Public Works and the necessary funds transfer.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wayner. Mr. Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The next three resolutions are all similar in nature. As as they move funds within accounts with the intent to purchase equipment. The first resolution is a budget transfer within the sewer department to purchase a new F-250 Super Cab pickup truck. This was a bid locally, and with the lowest responsible bid being Genesee Valley Ford in the amount of $41,741. This replaces Vehicle 111, and the budget transfers associated with this to the appropriate equipment lines. At the end of the year, we review where we're going to be at the end of the fiscal year. Seeing that we had extra dollars in contracted services, we are looking to move those dollars from contracted services into an equipment line with the intent to purchase this vehicle.
Thank you. With that, any questions on the first item, number 8? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 9, authorizing the purchase of one-ton truck to be used by the Department of Public Works and the necessary funds transfer.
Motion?
Moved.
In a second? Thank you. As Mr. Kiley said, this would appropriate $65,388.79 for the purchase of equipment and the appropriate fund transfers as well for a one-ton pickup truck to be used by the Department of Public Works. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 10, authorizing the amendment to the Department of Public Works sidewalk construction maintenance budget.
Motion?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 11, authorizing the calling of a public hearing in the matter of Consolidated Sewer District Extension at 909 Titus Avenue.
Motion?
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Mr. Kiley, I'm going to take a stab at this, and you can fill in any gaps if there are any.
Very good, sir.
At the workshop meeting, the board authorized a temporary what's the term, Bob?
Temporary out-of-use agreement?
Temporary out of district
long.
out of district agreement, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so a residence at 909 Titus Avenue wishes to connect to the town's consolidated sewer district. There is a need for them to have done so immediately. We authorize them to connect at their own risk. Under state law, every connection to the consolidated sewer district requires a public hearing, and as such, this resolution would call that public hearing for next town's board meeting. We notified the resident they connect at their own risk, and if during the public hearing or intervening time the board discovers a reason that connection should not exist and is not in the public's interest, the board reserves the right to deny that connection. So the owner connects at their own risk. We authorized that last week. This would call a public hearing to allow for the consolidated sewer district extension to 909 Titus Avenue. Any questions or comments? Mr. Kiley? Nodding in approval.
Very good.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 12, authorizing the appointment of an office clerk 2 in the Bureau of Recreation.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Vidat?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Due to a promotion, there is a vacancy in the Bureau of Recreation. I canvassed the office clerk 2 eligible list, and after conducting interviews, the department has recommended the hiring of Denise Ramos.
Thank you. Anything to add, Mr. Sinton?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. Ms. Ramos comes to us with experience as both a clerk and a financial counselor from the Rochester Housing Authority, as well as Strong Memorial Hospital, and we're very confident she'll be a wonderful addition to our team.
Thank you. And before I recognize Denise, I just want to note this. This hiring is perpetuated by a retirement in our comptroller's office, which was tomorrow, I believe. Tony D'Ambra, who has served here for 17 years, is moving on to retirement. We're sad to lose him. We brought someone over qualified from the Bureau of Recreation to take Tony's spot, creating this vacancy, and certainly are happy to advance Ms. Ramos, and we wish you the best. And I hear you're already doing a terrific job, and thank you for joining our team. Any questions or comments?
Congratulations.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Congratulations, Ms. Ramos. Please stand, be recognized. Little tradition we have, we do it at the end of the meeting. This is a short meeting, I'll just notice, or knock on wood, but, so, we're only 40 minutes in. We've had some instances where it's 2-3 hours, so, but congratulations. Madam Clerk.
Item number 13, authorizing the purchase of one 2019 Dodge Charger police all-wheel drive vehicle.
Motion?
Moved.
A second?
Second.
Thank you. Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is the purchase, the 2019 Dodge Charger Police All-Wheel Drive Vehicle. The product was put out to bid per New York State standards and general municipal law. Genesee Valley Motors was the least or most responsible bidder in regards to this request, and we're granting, we are able to purchase this as a result of a grant awarded by previously Majority Leader Morelli.
We're gonna have to condition ourselves to change.
That's right.
Been saying that for a while. Thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing the purchase of one 2019 Chevrolet Tahoe all-wheel drive police vehicle.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Protocol. Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This vehicle, which is a larger vehicle, will allow our technical services unit to carry very specialized equipment so that we would be able to conduct a major crime scene investigation with the equipment that it would carry and provide our personnel with on scene so that we don't have to move multiple vehicles to a particular location. It was put out to bid per New York State law and general municipal law. Joe Basil Chevrolet was the awardee out of Depew, New York, and once again, this is affiliated with the New York State grant, as I previously mentioned.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, authorizing the promotion of a police officer to investigator in the Arundecoy Police Department.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Criminal Investigations Unit is a major asset of the Arundecoy Police Department, and for the last several years, that unit has been understaffed due to the number of retirements that we've experienced. As you saw here today, with backfilling some road patrol positions, we're now able to move a police officer from the rank of patrol officer to investigator. We are recommending Officer Bradley Late be promoted to the rank of investigator. He is a highly qualified individual. He's done an exceptional job. He's been working in that capacity, if you will, on a temporary assignment, and has been working very hard and does bring an exceptional skill set to that position.
Thank you. Certainly have had the opportunity to work with Officer Lape, and I think he'll do a terrific job. It's nice to see advancement in the department. I think not necessitated, but allowed by some of finally the backfilling of the vacant positions, so it's good to see. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted, and congratulations to Investigator Lape.
Item number 16, authorizing the placement of a traffic control device at Cedarwood Road and Summershire Drive.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Chief, explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is recommending the placement of a stop sign on Cedarwood as it feeds into Summershire. That is one of the only feeder roads into Summershire that doesn't currently have a stop sign. And as the resolution indicated, after I consulted with my esteemed colleague, the Commissioner of Public Works, it's our recommendation that a stop sign be established at that particular location for the safety of those pedestrians and drivers in the neighborhood.
Bob, does that story check out?
I can vouch.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk.
Item number 17, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, with respect to entering into a purchase and sale agreement for 2180 East Ridge Road.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wayner. Ms. Ivers, explanation, please.
This is a unlisted action for the purposes of seeker. In reviewing the potential impacts, you have before you Part 1, 2, and 3, along with a Part 3 narrative that explains the review that was conducted. This is analyzing the potential impacts associated with entering into a purchase agreement. And so at this time, there is no specific or specified physical development that's being proposed to the town. We just know that the sale is associated with the potential or future development of a auto repair facility. So because there are no physical alterations to the land being proposed or presented to the town at this time, we're not looking at the potential impacts to land and the physical development impacts that we typically look at. And to the extent that this could be deemed segmentation, it's permissible because we don't have the specified plans at this time. So we're doing an uncoordinated review. Future or subsequent development of the property would be subject to other board reviews, and seeker would be performed at that time. However, in looking at impacts, we did look at potential for traffic. And when you compare the former use as a library with the current temporary use as a DPW operations headquarters, the future use as an auto repair facility will actually be less intensive, or at the very least not more intensive from a traffic standpoint. And so when we look at all the potential uses, it's very consistent with the land use, it's consistent with the zoning and our comprehensive plan. For that reason, we're recommending that this be a negative declaration.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the proposed declaration? Negative declaration? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 18, authorizing entering into a purchase and sale agreement for 2180 East Ridge Road.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. So at present, the Department of Public Works is utilizing the former Helen McGraw branch at 2180 East Ridge Road. This town board will be declaring unless circumstances change in the future regarding the town's needs, as we are building a new facility. The former library property will no longer be needed for town purposes and will be surplus property upon the opening of the new DPW facility. The town has received an offer from Dearborn Land Investment to purchase the former library property after the completion of the new DPW facility. As Ms. Ivers said, the proposed use is an auto repair facility. The town is empowered to dispose of in accordance with state laws, and thus recommending this resolution to authorize the execution of a purchase sale agreement with Dearborn Land Investment LLC. Questions or comments? I want to thank Ms. Smith, our town attorney, for a lot of work on this, and thank you, Carrie, for the seeker review, very thorough. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 19, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a settlement agreement.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. In 2017, the town board authorized the town to enter into a contract with the Cohen Law Group for the purchases of cable franchising consulting services, which the scope of work included executing or negotiating a new cable franchise agreement with both Time Warner, now known as Charter Communications, and at that time also Frontier, who had proposed a franchise agreement. We have not heard from Frontier in quite some time. We authorized in that scope of work conducting a audit of prior fees received by the town, cable franchise fees received by the town, as is common with other municipalities, to determine if any underpayments did occur. We did determine that there was substantial underpayment and have a settlement offer with Charter Communication in the amount of $37,000, which represents 5 years of underpayments. This would author the town, particularly the supervisor, to execute the settlement agreement. So this is revenue. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 20, authorizing surety, form, and amount of official undertaking for the faithful performance of the duties of the town clerk and receiver of taxes and assessments.
Motion? Moved. And a second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted and our trust is in the clerk's hands for yet, at minimum, another year.
Item number 21, approving the special event license for the Sea Breeze 9th Annual Volunteer Fire Department Winter Parade and Fireworks.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. The 9th Annual Winter Parade and Fireworks will take place Saturday, December 8th, down on Culver Road, north of, like Duran Drive, not Duran, what is the
Topper.
road? What is it?
Tapper. Drive down to the
Lake Shore?
fire department.
Whatever road leads into the park, north of Parkside Diner.
Yes.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. I will now, this concludes the body of our work for tonight's regular town board meeting. Next workshop meeting will take place Tuesday, December 11th at 4 p.m. here in the Broderick Meeting Room of Town Hall. The next regular town board meeting will take place Tuesday, December 18th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Have a very happy and safe Thanksgiving, and hope everyone is safe, and thanks to same goes to the board members and all the staff. I will now take a motion to adjourn,
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT, Government Access. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT, Government Access.